Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Tiara here, and today I'm going to be doing another book review in my, I want to call it my diversity series for Black History Month. And something that I want to let you guys know is that I think I will keep continuing this and reading books, more diverse books from Black authors, Latina authors, Asian authors. Like, I just really need to make my reading more diverse, especially as a woman of color. And so I'm gonna call it like my diversity series, and I'm gonna make a little playlist and leave it in the down bar of all my videos so that you guys can check them out if you are, trying to read more diversely, if you're a woman or man of color who wants a book that they can identify with. And so yeah, today I am continuing that series, and I will be reviewing Promise of Shadows by Justina Ireland. So let's just get started, okay?
So I started filming and my camera died. What is up with that? So I had to put my glasses back on to figure that out. But okay, we're blind again. But like I was saying, I'm gonna do a new thing, just a diversity series. And if you wanted to see any of my previous videos, they will be linked down below. And don't forget to subscribe for more, because I'm really excited to read more diverse books this year, because we honestly need them. And I've just been getting more this month, like discovering more diverse authors and hearing their stories, and just like, as Kylie Jenner said, it's the year of realizing things. But yeah, so I'm being extra chatty today. So let's just get into the video. Alright, so I have my notes on my phone. Normally I write them like on a notebook, but I think I was just writing them as I was reading. So if I casually glance down, I just know I have specific points that I wanted to touch on. So I'm sorry about that, but let's get into it. So all I want to say is, if you're a Black girl out there who loves fantasy, who likes, supernatural books, and you are looking for a heroine character, a Black woman who looks like you, this is the book for you. This book was amazing. It made me so happy. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Justina Ireland, I applaud you. I want to read more of your books. I follow you on Twitter. Ooh, the lighting. And you are just amazing, and just thank you so much for this book. So let's get into like a non-spoilery section, like a summary of this book. So basically we follow a main character. Her name is Zephyr. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced, but I'll spell it out on the screen. And she is a harpy, and this entire story is kind of like Greek mythology. It gives me Percy Jackson vibes, but it's like definitely not anything like close to what Rick Riordan writes, but it's definitely like kind of like Greek mythology and dealing with like demigods or people that are like half magical. And so they call them Vatur, or I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce them. It's kind of like Greek words, but I will write it again. And they're just kind of like, ooh, turned my volume off. They're just kind of like magical beings. So we follow this main character, and her name is Zephyr, and she is a harpy. So I believe, yeah, so she's like not human. Like, no one in these stories is human, and you're not even really dealing with demigods. They're just like minor godlike characters in Greek mythology that you hear about. So basically, yeah, and she's just super awesome. She has dark skin, and I can't remember what color her eyes are. I think they were gray, but I'm not 100% sure. And then she has long blue dreadlocks. Like, God, it's so great and amazing, and she's so awesome. So we meet her, and she basically right now is in the pit of Tartarus. I'm really bad at pronouncing Greek names for someone who reads so much. But like the pits of hell, she's in hell. And she is serving out her sentence because she is a god slayer, and she killed a minor god. And so basically we have to see what happens as she's serving out her sentence, and she ends up breaking out of hell, and we find out all these amazing things, and she basically has to save the world, typical heroine stuff. And it's just really exciting, and she has to save the minor godlike characters, the Vatur, from the gods. And something that I really, really like about this book that is different from Percy Jackson is, in Percy Jackson, he kind of hints that the gods really don't care about the demigods or like the minor, you know, magical creatures. And you kind of get hints that they're kind of assholes, but in this book, they're really assholes. Like, I hate Hera, I hate Hermes, you know, all the major gods can like kiss my ass, like, basically. And like, it's just super, super amazing, and she just portrays this world so well. It's amazingly written, and I just really loved it. So like, if you're a black girl out there who loves fantasy, who wants to read an awesome book that has to do with like Greek mythology, then I definitely recommend this book. Like, it definitely got 5 out of 5 stars for me. I read it in like 3 days. It was just amazing. So I think that's all I have to say for the non-spoilery parts. So let's just get on into the spoiler section. Alright, so let's get into this. If you don't care about spoilers, I'm going to do like a spoilery summary, and then we're going to talk about some of my feels. So basically we find out that she's actually the daughter of Hades, which I love. Like, who doesn't love a dark god? Like, every time, I just feel like dark characters are more interesting than the good characters. You know, in Percy Jackson, you follow Percy, and he's the son of Neptune. But like, the most interesting story about that was when we meet the guy who's the son of Hades. I forget his name, Nico DeAngelis, and his twin sister. Like, they're the kids of Hades. Like, they're super interesting. I just feel like dark characters are so more diverse, and they just have more character arcs, and just like, I love dark characters. Or when they're super, super bright and happy characters and then they turn dark. Like, that's so interesting to me. So I love that she's a daughter of Hades. It's super awesome. And something that I also really like about this book is that it's Greek mythology, but it includes the minor characters. So we hear about harpies, kabalos, dragons, minor gods and goddesses. Like, everything isn't just about Zeus, and like, everything just isn't about, you know, Hercules or just like superheroes. Like, this is about the darkest of the dark. These are the people that everyone forgets about, because, you know, you always think of harpies as like evil and they hate women, and she definitely plays upon those stereotypes, as in they're like fighters and they don't really fall in love and like all this stuff. But it's just awesome that it includes like minor characters and it's not typical Greek mythology. So let's talk about some things that I really, really loved. Let's talk about characters. I love Cass. I was very suspicious of her because, you know, Zephyr goes back and forth of like being super suspicious. She can't decide what's going on with her. Like, she's very unsure, and so it's been very interesting to kind of see how she's changed. And I thought her character of not having emotions was really good, especially for someone who doesn't have emotions and then she sacrificed herself. Like, what do you mean you have emotions? You're the sweetest girl I've ever met. Okay, the sweetest. So that was just amazing. Something that I didn't really like about this book is I didn't like that the love interest wasn't black. Or at least the way he was described was not that he was black. I did like that he was kind of like this dark, super powerful god that only she could love. Like, of course, only she could love him. Like, that's just how it works. I thought this book had amazing cultural references. So the mom figure here is kind of like Nanda, and that's who they kind of use her house as a stakeout and everything. And like, they talk about a lot about her cooking, because, as you know, the Nyx, Zephyr uses a lot of power, so she gets really hungry. And there's just like amazing cultural references that Justina Ireland like stuck in there. Like, she makes fried chicken and collard greens and mashed potatoes and eggs and bacon, and I'm like, yes, like, this is some black girl magic right here. Okay, we are getting some fried chicken. Like, that never happens in books. Like, it's always like, like, they just like, they never describe food like that. And I know it was a purposeful cultural reference. Like, yeah, girl, we getting fried chicken and collard greens up in here. Like, Zephyr eats her greens, okay? She eats her cabbage and cornbread, okay? And Nanda makes it for her. Something that I also really, really like is that the love story kind of got a backseat. Like, you know, she went back and forth with him. I forget his name already, which is an issue. But, you know, I'll just put it here because I always forget. But she goes back and forth, and it's not really like a big love story. I mean, it is big and epic, but she still has to save the world first. And he like kind of puts it off, and he's like, oh, I don't want to ruin you and all this stuff. And you find out why, and it's kind of like this deep underlying brooding. But it does take a backstory, and as much as he's on her mind, she still has to focus on saving the world. And like when you compare it to Percy Jackson, they were like, it was Percy and his girl, I forget her name too. Is it Anna? I'm pretty sure it's Anna, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably wrong. But you know, they kind of fall in love and save the world together, and it's like, no, just Zephyr. And of course he helps, you know, during the big battle, but basically it just got to be her versus Hera, and it was just like awesome. Is it Hera? I feel like I keep getting it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Hera because she's always relayed as the bitch. Let's not talk about that, you know, feminism. But still, like, just in Greek mythology, she's always seen as the bitch. This has nothing to do with Justine Ireland. But like, I just love that she got to have that battle herself, and it wasn't like this epic super love thing until the end. And also, can we get a round of applause that she actually died? Like, I hate when storytellers are like, oh, there's this big like mythology and awful things are gonna happen and you're basically gonna die, but then it's like, plot twist, our main character gets to stay alive. Like, I think it takes a lot of guts when the main character just dies. Like, hi, you're dead. This, like, that's what I liked about Divergent. Like, of course it hurt me and I cried, but then it's like, you're dead. That's what the prophecy said. Like, let's fulfill the prophecy. And plot twist, she doesn't actually die, but she's stuck in heaven. And so it's still like a form of death, I think. So I thought it was a really like eloquent way to get away from the main character dying. And then it just kind of gives a hint of a happy ending. Like, oh, maybe she'll get to be happy and get her boyfriend and like it'll be cute or whatever. So I thought that was really great. And then my last thing to note is basically heaven, the Elysian Fields or whatever, I think that's how it's pronounced, kind of sounds like hell. Like, hell sounded awful, and you know, they're smelling weird, and there's like the Cerberus, the three-headed dog or whatever, and like, you know, the centaurs, and just like if you die, no one cares. But like, the Elysian Fields kind of sounds like hell. Like, you have no memory of your life, and everyone's just happy-go-lucky all the time, and you just fight for fun. Like, it just kind of sounds like a personal hell. So I kind of like that heaven didn't seem that like appealing to anyone, so I really like that. But okay, so I think that's all my comments on this book. I feel like this video is really long because I just had like a gushing section, but I just really enjoyed this book, and I just really suggest that you read it. It's amazing. I hope I didn't spoil it too much for you if you decided to venture in the spoiler section and you're thinking about reading it, because it's truly amazing. It's a standalone, which I love. I love when fantasy books are standalones because everything just gets like compromised and you don't have to wait for the next book. And you know, of course series have more detail and you get more story, but this was enough and it was great. So thank you, Justina Ireland, for this amazing book. Hashtag we need more diverse books, and I'm out this bitch. All right. Bye.